Your mission is to explore the Missouri River and such principal stream of it as by its course and communication with the waters of the Pacific Ocean. Thomas Jefferson, 1803.
And with Jefferson's mandate to Lewis and Clark, one of the greatest adventures in American history was set in motion over 200 years ago. The Lewis and Clark expedition has captured the imagination of generations of Americans who are fascinated by this courageous voyage of discovery. Much of the storied travels of Lewis and Clark happened in what is now the state of Montana. The Lewis and Clark journals describe their heroic attempts to navigate the unpredictable Missouri River that flows throughout much of this vast land. And now there is an incredible opportunity to own Roosevelt Island, a significant piece of property on the Missouri River where Lewis and Clark traveled over 200 years ago. John Cloud, the current property owner, says of this historic Missouri River island, "Owning a fine piece of property is like owning a fine piece of art, except with the added value of permanence." If you believe this to be true, we invite you to explore the masterpiece of Roosevelt Island. Boasting 61 acres of Missouri River frontage and near the quaint historic town of Fort Benton. There is added history to this island as Frederick Roosevelt, a relative of President Theodore Roosevelt, purchased the property in 1876 for $200. Roosevelt built a home on the island and lived there for 6 years. He later sold the property, and since that time the island has had several different owners, but has remained virtually unchanged since the early 1900s. The heavily wooded island is host to breeding grounds for blue herons and many other bird species. The Great Falls Audubon Society once did a bird count on the island that identified nearly 90 different bird species that frequent the island throughout the year. The island is also home for whitetail and mule deer, beaver, otter, and various other plant and wildlife, which live and thrive along the wild and scenic Missouri. An abundance of ducks, ring-necked pheasants, and Canadian geese frequent the island and surrounding area, providing excellent upland game and waterfowl hunting opportunities. Montana is world-renowned for its fine fishing, and the Missouri River is said to present some of the best fly fishing in the United States. Along with the ample hunting and fishing opportunities, this land also has the added value of being the first private property upstream to the Upper Missouri River National Monument, which runs for 150 miles downstream to the Fred Robinson Bridge. Roosevelt Island itself is about 30 acres in size and is located just on the outskirts of Fort Benton, the oldest town in Montana. The island is one of the few private islands on the entire river. The distance around the island is approximately 1.5 miles, with about 8,000 feet of shoreline plus 2,000 feet on the mainland. The abundance of shoreline makes owning this property a very good investment, considering current waterfront prices in Montana. Owner John Cloud has held the property for several years and says it has been the most enjoyable thing he has ever owned. Cloud has considered building a bridge to the island but has refrained from doing so, not wanting to put a modern structure on the landscape. The island sits above the floodplain, enabling development of the entire 61 acres. This island sanctuary can be used for exclusive hunting and fishing opportunities, or to build a dream home and experience the peace and solitude only a private island along the banks of the Missouri River can offer. Because of declining health, the owner is saddened to have to part with this fine piece of Montana property. The lure of walking with Lewis and Clark, gazing upon the same landscapes that they looked at over 200 years ago, can be yours with this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own this historic island property. With all it has to offer, this truly unique and versatile property might just empower you to accomplish your goals beyond your dreams.